Hi, so welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing homework 17 and we are calling a function. So as always, I'm going to start with my matrices. I have matrix C A, B, C, and D. And I have x1, x2, y1, y2, and y3. These are going to ask these zeros in these matrices are going to act like placeholders and we will get a result out. For example, x1, the result will be a times inverse of a. So in this homework we're using a try and a catch. So if there is any exception or any error in my code, the code itself will catch that exception without it crashing. So the first thing I wanted to do was to multiply matrix C, A, and B. And I'm actually going to call that function from our previous homework, homework 16. And as you see in this world, we have multiplied matrix C, A, and B. What we're doing here is we're calling homework 16, so that class, and we're using that to multiply matrix C, A, and B. And then we're printing it out. The next thing we're going to do is print matrix C of C. Why I'm doing that is just to show you what the matrix inverse of C is. The next thing I'm doing is multiply C times the inverse of C, which should get a matrix C that contains only ones and zeros. Then for matrix C, x1 again, I'm going to say the inverse of C times C. Now these answers should come out the exact same. From here, I'm multiplying A and B, and I'm printing that out. For y2, I'm going to multiply the inverse of C times y1. y1 was what we got when we multiplied matrix A and B. For y3, I am taking y2 and subtracting it from B. So for y2 was the inverse of matrix C, C times y1. I'm taking that and I'm subtracting it from matrix CB, which is all the way at the top. This catch is what's going to happen if I have an error. So say for example I say matrix C A. You can't have an inverse of a matrix that's a 4 by 3 or a 3 by 4. It has to be equal. My matrix CA is not. So okay, I ran that code. And as you can tell, so matrix C, homework 1.6, that's the multiplication of A and B. Then the inverse of matrix C, then x1, x1, and y1 and y2. And I'm actually going to show you guys, look down here. It says the array is out of bounds, so it caught it. Instead of coming up in red, it came up in that little blue. So let's change it back to matrix CC. I'm actually going to go ahead and take this and assign it to matrix C2. And I'm going to print it. Okay, So once printed, there you have it. Now you have all the matrices. So you have y3, y2, y1, x2, x1, the inverse of matrix CC, and the multiplication. So as you can see, I have this function here, but I have no other world to tell me how that function is supposed to work. What our teacher had us do was copy and paste, was allocate code from another person. Now in their mainframe they had all this. So they were multiplying and they're printing some stuff out. So I put that in comments because in all honesty, their main could have nothing, because what I'm doing is I'm calling the functions within this class. So this is a class. And you have the function determinant, the function inverse, which is what I called, minor, multiply. Multiply is another one I called. I called the multiply from this file, and I also called the multiply from homework 16 just to show that both work. You have the RRF and the transpose. I did not use all of these. I only used the multiplication and the inverse because that's all I needed. And so here is the process that it went to get the inverse of the matrix. So I have this in a whole different set of code in this whole different class, and I can just access it in this homework. So therefore I don't have all that clutter. Anyway, that's all I wanted to share. Thank you very much.